All right, guys. Submission Radio standing here with the big winner, Stipe Miocic, after an very impressive win over Mark Hunt. Stipe, welcome to Melbourne. How are you feeling after such a big win?
I'm a little beat up, but it's great to get a W. Nothing like getting back in W. Win calm.
Stipe, you got the big win over Mark. When we interviewed you a few days out from the fight of the media day, you seemed in the zone. You seemed a lot more serious. Then at the weigh-ins, Mark told you that he's knocking you out before going off stage. Did any of Mark's trash talk have any effect on you?
No, I mean, it just adds more fuel to the fire. He said, he's been saying it a lot, the whole time for the upcoming to the fight. But, it's Bill's hype, man. He drops people, he knocks people out. But, I wasn't going to let that happen.
You're always super nice, Stipe. Let's talk about your game plan. Usually you come in and out a lot. This time you really pushed the action. You were in Mark's face. You were in the pocket trading with him. Was that to prove a point, to show everybody that in the striking department you do have an advantage? Because everybody was saying Mark had an advantage in that department.
Like you said, Mark, he's got bombs in his hands like everyone says, and he does. But, I feel like my boxing is one of the best in the heavyweight division, and, I proved that. Was it
something that he said that made you want to go forward? Was that your game plan from the get-go, or was some of his comments, some of the things that influenced you to do that game plan?
Oh, nothing influenced me, man. I have a game plan when I walk in, and I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to get the W.
Let's talk about that game plan. You were very secretive going into the fight. You said, look, you're going to get it done. You're going to take it wherever the action goes. It looked like you wanted to set up your takedowns with strikes, and you stayed in the pocket a lot. Now that the fight's done, can you tell us a little bit more about your game plan?
Yeah, he's real heavy-footed. He likes coming hard, throws those loopy hooks for straight rights, and I was just timing it right. When every time he came hard, it's like we're sitting right there, and I just took it, lifted it up, and dumped him on his butt.
Mark Hunt's lying on the ground. You're on top, raining down the punches. You're hitting him over and over. What's going through your head as it's happening?
Well, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, but I got to keep working and get that W.
Did you expect him to be able to take so much punishment and so much damage, and to be so hard to put away?
Yeah, he's got a good chin, like everyone says, and he does have a good chin. My hands feel it. My hands are sore, and but like I said, I just needed to keep pushing the pressure and keep hitting them until the ref stepped in.
You outlanded Hunt on a total of 361 punches to 46 punches. The 361 total strikes landed, but you actually set a new UFC record as you broke Royce Gracie's total of 355 strikes that he landed at UFC 5 in 1995. That's an impressive amount of punches. What did you think when you saw the final stats and found out you held a new record?
It was pretty cool, man. It's cool to be part of something, but like I said, all I care about is getting that W, man. No matter how many punches. It could have been 10 punches. It could have been 4,000. As long as I get the W.
Back in the day, Shane Carwin had a very famous fight against Brock Lesnar. He punched himself out. At any point when you were landing so many punches, were you worried at all that, wow, it's hard to put this guy away? Were you worried at all about punching yourself out?
It came to my mind, but, my coaches train me well. I have a great game plan when I walk in, and, I threw a lot of punches. That's my, it's one of my game plans. I threw a lot of punches. I like to be in their face, and I felt comfortable. If any time I felt like getting tired, then then I'd back off and look for another way. But I felt great.
There were a couple of moments in the fight you were on top of Mark, landing down punches, sort of looking over at the referee, wondering why isn't it being stopped. A lot of criticism. People are saying the fight should have been stopped earlier. What do you think? Do you think the fight went on a little bit too long?
Not my decision. Mark's like one of the durable guys. He's got a great chin, and and that's what the ref probably thought too. And and he I remember one time he did say, he's like, I'm fine. He said, literally, I was fine in the middle of the fight. So
people were making jokes on Twitter about the ref having conversations with you guys backstage, saying he's not going to stop the fight until one guy doesn't have a pulse. I'm just wondering, obviously the ref goes in and speaks to you guys beforehand. What was the conversation like? Did he say anything specific, like, look, guys, I'm going to need something special to stop this fight?
No, just like every other fight I've been in, the ref says, listen, if you're not doing anything, I'm going to try to improve, and if you don't improve, I'm going to stop the fight, just like every ref says. So, yeah, nothing different.
It's a crazy situation because now everybody's very critical of Mark Hunt's corner, saying, hey, in that situation, maybe they should have thrown the towel in, but it's not that simple. Most fighters don't want the towel thrown in their part. If the role was reversed and you were down on the bottom and he was raining down those punches, would you be happy if the corner threw in the towel for you?
No, I would never let him throw in the towel.
After sharing such a war with yourself and Mark Hunt, did you get a chance to speak to him after the event? And if so, what did you say?
No, I didn't. He's a nice guy. We did the PR before the fight. He was a nice guy. We had a few jokes to talk about. And like we said, it's business when you fight. But he's a nice guy. There's nothing but the best for him.
One of the judges didn't award you a 10-8 round. It was a huge victory, but isn't that strange? Not one of the judges didn't think it was 10-8?
Listen, I'm not a judge. I'm a fighter. I ain't worried about that.
Classy guy. You know, with such a dominant performance, Stipe, is there anything you would improve? Anything you look at and would want to work on for your next fight?
Yeah, everything, man. Just keep evolving, keep getting better every time. You know, every time I feel like walking the octagon for a fight, I'm better than I was last time.
So many interesting fights out there. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about Junior Dos Santos. That's a fight that people want to see you rematch in. If you did get a rematch with JDS, what would you do differently in that?
I think I'll be ready for it this time because I was ready last time, but just you know, I've been 5 rounds now. You know, it'll be my 3rd time. You know, and wouldn't be a little bit less, you know, a little less different than it was the first time.
Yeah, in regards to that fight and going 5 rounds, we asked you before the fight if you felt more prepared to go 5 rounds because you'd done it once against Junior Dos Santos. How did you feel in this fight? Did you feel more used to it? Or was it a bit easier the second time around, you know, going 5 rounds?
Yeah, I mean, I was tired, you know, definitely. I mean, I wasn't like nearly as tired as I was against the JDS fight, you know, and you know, I think the more times you do it, the better you're gonna get at it.
Other matchups obviously out there as well. The title on the line at UFC 188. If you had a preference, would you want to fight for the title next? Obviously, that's your main goal, right?
Yes, I want to shot at the title.
If that fight doesn't pan out, however, there's a couple of names out there. Travis Brown is obviously fighting Andrei Arlovsky. Overeem was walking around with you guys in Adelaide. Would one of those matchups interest you in any way?
Listen, I want to shot at the title. That's all I care about.
Stipe, you're on your way back home soon after spending some time with your family in Australia. What's next for the next few months? You know, what do the next few months look like for Stipe? Are you planning to return to your job as a paramedic firefighter, or do you think, seeing as you're in the peak of your career, you might take some time off and focus on MMA full time?
I do train MMA full time. You know, I'm a part-time fireman at 2 different departments. I get to pick my schedule, which helps out a lot. So, you know, when I get back home, you know, I'll go back to work in the next couple of days. When I get home on Thursday, I'll be home, and then, you know, right back to the gym and getting better.
Here's an interesting question for you. Let's say you do get the title shot next against one of the guys and you do become champion. Do you see yourself still being a firefighter in that circumstance? Because that would be an unreal, awesome situation there.
Yeah, I would still be a fireman. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I feel like there would be people over in Cleveland lighting little fires just so you can come over and they could take autographs and take photos.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that, man. That'd be too much work. I'm just kidding.
The firefighter suit, you know, is a pretty big one. Any chance you would be wearing the title under that when you're saving people from fires?
Oh, God, no, that'd be too heavy, man. If I catch me on fire, too, it could be hot and, no.
It's not made for fires. Now, Stipe, to round this thing out, we're going to do something with you we call the Submission Radio Tap Out Round. Bunch of fun questions. First thing that comes to mind, short answers and a bit of fun, okay? Because we threw a few hard ones at you. Let's have a bit of fun, all right? You ready? Yep. All right, so what did Stipe do for his post-fight celebrations in Adelaide? While we were there, we learned that it wasn't just a city of churches, but apparently a city of strip clubs as well.
Well, I had my personal one.
He's looking over at the girlfriend.
I had my personal one, but I, you know, hung out with her and then my family.
You were the guy in the fireman outfit on stage. I thought I recognized you.
Yeah, listen, man, I made a lot of money that night, so.
I don't know what we were doing there either.
That's the answer that won't get you in trouble, like the Xbox question. You know, with family in Australia, would you be open to fighting here again, or is the travel back and forth a little bit too much for you? And, you know, would you mind being a part of the next big Aussie card?
Oh, yeah, but listen, it's what the UFC wants to do with me, you know. I love it here, you know. I said that, and Melbourne's great, and, you know, I have family here too, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Do you expect us to believe the Cavs are going to win the NBA playoffs?
You better believe it. If you say that ever again, we're going to have a problem.
Well, speaking of the Cavs, have you completely forgiven LeBron James after dumping you guys, or is it still, you know, touch and go?
Listen, we're in the playoffs. We're tied 2-2 with the Bulls. I think we're happy.
Describe Vegemite in one word.
Salty.
He's trying to be nice.
Salty.
Have you guys considered using Vegemite's horrible taste to revive people in a situation as a paramedic?
I won't.
Think about it.
No comment.
You tweeted yesterday, I will not spend my morning on Twitter searching Stipe sucks. Yes, I will. How did that go?
I think it went well.
You're a guy who doesn't take himself too seriously. What did you think of some of the hilarious things Aussie fans were yelling out during your fight with Mark Hunt?
You take it for a grain of salt, man. You know, you can't make everyone happy. You know, listen, like I said, I'm just happy to get that W. You know, and the fans are still great. They were still, you know, into it. They were screaming, yelling, so it's awesome.
When will Stipe Miocic finish an interview, a post-fight interview with Give Me a Hell Yeah?
You never know. Maybe when I win the title.
Well, obviously your nickname is officially Stone Cold. Have you ever been tempted to finish an interview and saying, "That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so"?
We'll see.
The pillow that you brought out with you that you said, I'll bring a pillow with me, did you end up offering it to Mark Hunt?
No, I didn't. Not at all.
Finally, Stipe, we're standing here in the MMA Fight Store in Melbourne. You are an honorary Australian. What's the greatest thing to you about your many trips down here in regards to this fight?
Just getting to see this beautiful country, and seeing family I haven't seen in a long time.
Guys, make sure to catch Stipe's very, very funny tweets at Stipe Miocic. And that's the bottom line because Submission Radio said so.
Oh, hell yeah.